Okay, here we go. So I'm going to collapse this down. And if you could all just stay on mute, that would be amazing. So welcome to our 12th year. I love this photo because I think it really encapsulates the energy in the room on the night. And if you were there on the night and you're here now, do drop a comment in the chat about how you felt being at the final. It really is a celebration of female entrepreneurship from across the UK, and is something I'm extremely proud of creating, being part of, and being part of people's journey, really, business journey, which is incredible. So, we started in 2015. At the time, there were very few awards out there for women, and most of them were really aimed at women in the multi-million pound bracket. And most women run a business because they want to combine normally family commitments, or they want to run something that they're passionate about. And it might not be a multi-million pound business, but it doesn't mean that they're not successful. So I set these up with the purpose of recognizing so many incredible women that I'd come across myself, and really trying to showcase female business talent. So that's where the idea came from. There are a lot of awards out there now, not all are equal. So, if you're ever not sure about an awards and a process, obviously I'm always happy to talk through what I believe is credible awards versus, let's call them fake and vanity awards, because there's a lot of those around. So our process is robust and very credible and very fair. So I will talk you through that a bit more later. But awards can't happen without sponsors. And sponsors are very integral to this whole event because their support gives us the money to be able to put the event on that we do and to support people throughout the year. So I want to introduce some of our sponsors this morning, which hopefully some of them are on the Zoom call. So I'm going to stop sharing and come back to the main room and have a look and see down my little list. The first person I want to talk to this morning is John Acton, who is our headline sponsor for this year. And John is in the room. So, John, can you unmute yourself and say hello to everybody?
Hello, everyone.
So, John is the founder of Peer to Peer. John, tell everybody quickly and succinctly a little bit about Peer to Peer and why you've got involved with the Best Business Women Awards.
Sure, will do. This isn't remotely intimidating at all. I've got you all in gallery view here. Yeah, so I'm co-founder and CEO of Peer to Peer. We're a Hertfordshire-based business, but we've got boards now reaching certainly across the country in a few cities like Sheffield, Leeds, Northampton, Exeter, Bristol, Bournemouth, Dorset, Southampton, etc. And I set up peer to peer in 2017. We went live in 2018. And essentially, our core offer is we assemble groups of business owner entrepreneurs who meet for half a day every month to work on the business. And that in itself isn't unique. The Vistas, the alternative board, and so on. But when we looked at disrupting this space, one of the things I noticed when I did some due diligence was the lack of women on these boards. I went to a Vistage event in London, and honest to God, there must have been 300, 400 blokes and about three women in the room. So with the fellow founders, I said, right, as a minimum, we want 40% female representation on all of our boards across the country. We're at about 45% at the moment. But it's not easy to do that, if I'm honest. But I believe our tagline is "Love Your Flight." One of the things I'm passionate about is that every business leader, um, by the time you choose to retire, whatever that looks like for you, you need to have no regrets and have loved as much of it as possible. So for us, it's all about, taking the stress, isolation, loneliness, fear, um, all these blockers away and working collaboratively as a group of people who get to know, like, and trust each other very well to build amazing businesses. And I'm delighted. I've known Debbie for a number of years. Um, and I'm delighted to be involved in these awards. And I only hear good stuff about it, if I'm honest. Um, Me and Debbie share a lot of views about awards. I've been involved in judging panels for many awards over many years, and even from the inside, I'm looking. I think this isn't a fair process. It's a little bit rigged. And what I love about these awards is none of that. I'm not allowed to get involved in any of the judging or anything, which is as it should be, because as a sponsor, you should be neutral of all of that. Yeah, let somebody else worry about who deserves the awards, and my role is to try and support and encourage as many of you as possible to enter.
Thank you. That's amazing. And John, do put all your details into the chat so people can
I will.
contact you about the amazing peer-to-peer groups. So let's say hello to Cleveland, Scott York. We have Lauren here, I believe.
Yes, good morning. Hi,
Hello, Lauren.
everyone. So, yeah, as Debbie said, I'm from Cleveland, Scott, York. So, we're an intellectual property law firm. So, we help people and businesses with their trademarks, patents, and designs. CSY have been very lucky to support the Best Business Women's Award since 2016. And we support the customer service category. And we've done this because it aligns with our passion of giving great customer service, but we also understand and appreciate how much of a difference it can make. So yeah, that's a bit about me and CSY.
Thank you, Lauren. And if you haven't protected your intellectual property, you must do that. And Lauren, put all your details into the chat so people can contact you for help on that one. Next up, we've got Natasha from Crane and Staples. Are you there?
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Natasha. How are
Morning.
you?
Good, thank you. How are you all?
Good. Yes. So Crane and Staples have been with us since the start.
We have indeed. So I'm a senior associate and family solicitor at Crane and Staples. We're over in Welwyn Garden City in Hertfordshire, and we have sponsored, as Debbie says, the Best Business Women Awards for over a decade now, and we are really excited to sponsor this event in celebration of other SME businesses.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming and thank you for sponsoring.
Thank
So we've
you.
got Michelle Leon from Linear. She's definitely here. She's on my list. Are you there, Michelle? I will come back to Michelle. So
Yes,
we've got Laura.
sorry.
Oh, there you are.
It was on
Mute.
mute. Yes, yes. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Thank you, Debbie, for giving us this opportunity. And it's an honor to be sponsoring such a fab award. I've got so much to learn from the female powerhouse here, and I might enter next year when Linear grows up, actually. So Linear is actually born from my midlife crisis, really. 25 years in the manufacturing and construction industry. And then hit midlife, it's like so much to do, so little time. Oh my God, So it's actually a habit and lifestyle app that helps us eliminate waste in our daily life, whether it's the time, energy, money, or mental clutter. Instead of adding more to our plate, it helps us simplify, prioritize, build sustainable habits that actually stick, that we actually carry on, and it becomes a good habit. So it's productivity really without the overwhelm. So I am Michelle, founder of Linear, a new app launching soon, and I'm delighted to be sponsoring this award and have the opportunity here to be recruiting some very special thinking pioneering users for the app when it launched. So check our website out. If you like what you see, please, please, please sign up. I'll put
Brilliant.
the website
Yeah,
on.
put the details in. Lovely, lovely. And thanks for your support. Lauren from Scott Media.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. I'm here on behalf of Fiona. I work with Fiona, who runs Scott Media. She started the business 18 years ago. Very proud sponsors of the Best Solopreneur Award. She started the business, on her own. I've only joined her in the last 2 years, and it's a really difficult area to be in, a woman running a business, and the stats sort of show that. So really proud to be sponsoring this award. We're a PR company based in Swindon, but support will be people all over the place with visibility in the ever-changing world of the media.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lauren. And if you get selected, you need to get your PR done. So have a chat with Scott Media about that. We've got Lynn from Funny Women. Now they're coming in this year as a new sponsor, sponsoring the creative business category. Lynn, hello.
Hello, Debbie. I was just trying to be creative and put something in the chat.
Oh, look at that. Swazzy
yes.
background.
So Funny Women is a non-profit organisation. We're not a charity, we're a community interest company, a social enterprise. I kind of got dragged into entering, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, by the lovely Debbie, who kept encouraging me to enter, and indeed paid off, because I'm looking at them here, they're on the wrong side of my screen, most inspiring businesswoman in 2024 as a gold award winner, and last year I was a silver award winner in the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm telling you this because really I think my role is I run my own awards, the Funny Women Awards, which are a very different animal to this. But the power of awards is fantastic, and it can really propel you in terms of your business profile. And it's lovely to get recognition. I'm really excited actually about coming in on the other side of things as a sponsor. And, hopefully I'll bring some interesting insights to it, because I've been a part of the process as well. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yes, I think so. And I'm really excited that you're coming in. So thank you.
Thank you.
So we've got Jaylan here from the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I have a frog. Right. I'm Jaylan, and I'm the founder of Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. So we are a business platform for women-owned businesses, and our kind of core principle is to help women grow their businesses. There are too many women who are really struggling with the growth of their revenue, stabilize the revenue, and grow their businesses. And this is what we do. We have three kind of pillars in our business. One is our community, which we're very proud of, Empowered Tribe. And then we run events, which are planning events. And then also we have growth programs. And this is the second year that we are sponsoring Best Business Women Awards. And the reason why is because I really do believe in what Debbie does. These are not any awards. I have, as John mentioned, I have been a judge in many other awards, and the judging system and how it works is really not fair. So, and when I talk with Debbie, the way that she sees it and the quality of how people are selected, it told a lot about these awards, and I wanted to be part of this amazing community as well. So thank you, Debbie, for organizing this. And hello, everyone. I'm really, really excited to meet you. So slowly.
Oh, thank you, Jaylan. Thank you for your support. And you've got an event coming up, so do put the details in the chat.
I will, and you'll be speaking at that
I'm
event.
going to be there. So yeah, I'm very excited. Right, we're going to go on to Mary Gregory now. She's here, sponsor of the
Hello. Best female leader, and that's what I sponsor. And I won the Best Coach Award in 2024. And I just want to acknowledge how the whole process was not only informative in terms of getting really clear around what I'm doing in my business, because actually completing the entry is quite a revelation when you start completing that entry and you then look back at it and think, oh, wow, this is where my business is at. So it's a really good way of reflecting and reviewing where my business was. But then the whole process of the event and the night itself was just such a celebration of women in business. It really is a fantastic thing. And I'm very supportive of what Debbie does. I really admire the stand she takes for women in business. And partly that's very much aligned with some of the work I do. I'm a leadership coach and facilitator. And one of my areas of speciality is supporting women leaders step up in the workplace. So in many organizations, medium to large organizations, there are lots of women at entry level, but when you get into more senior roles, there's still a dearth of women in leadership in the senior roles. So there's a real need to keep supporting women. So a real alignment with the work that Debbie's doing in terms of creating a platform for women and creating visibility. And actually, I have a podcast, She Leads Collective, which I'm going to be inviting women from who were in the category that won last year for Best Female Leader onto my podcast. Sky's just done a nice little applause because Sky and Alex from Resilient Women Leaders were on my podcast this season a couple of weeks back. So do look out for their episodes. And also Lynn Parker has already been on it as well. And Debbie, we must get you on it, I just realised as well. I was sat next to you on my screen thinking, I've got Debbie on yet. Must have Debbie on. So it's all about creating a platform for women because there is a dearth of role models out there, of positive role models as women leaders. So I want to try and make amends on that. Anyway, I'm sponsoring Best Female Leader because we need lots more role models and we need recognition of what it takes to lead a business. And it's not just about, you being there and creating your own brand. It's about what are you doing that's contributing to the world and to the society through your business, but also how are you leading your people and taking your people with you? And those are the sorts of things we'll be looking at. And this is my second year of sponsoring this award, so I'm very excited about seeing. We had fantastic shortlisted candidates last year, so I'm really looking forward to seeing who comes through this year.
And it's one of our only categories that we let people who don't actually own the business enter. So it's a really good opportunity for women who are working in a corporate environment or working in an organisation. So thank you, Mary. Now let's come on to Stefania. Stefania, I think you are here.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hello. And you are sponsoring the health, wellness and beauty category. So share a bit about your business and what you're up to.
Well, I'm the head stylist and founder of One of a Style, an agency that provides personal styling services. And we work with private clients, but also with corporate clients. Yes, I've been a silver winner in 2 categories for 2 years in a row, a few years back. And now I'm very excited to embark this new journey as a sponsor.
Brilliant. And thank you for your support. Do put all your details into the chat. So thank you very much. Right, I think I've covered off all the sponsors that are here today because there's a few that aren't. If I haven't, shout out now. I think I have. Right, I'm going to go back to my presentation now and crack on with that. Right, okay. So in addition to the people you've met today, we've got a number of other sponsors that couldn't make it today, but honestly, the support they give really makes the event what it is. We also have some judges here, but we're going to hear from judges later. We have quite a big judging panel, and that's because our process involves the entries being seen by 3 judges, and I'll talk through that a bit more later. But here is the gallery of all our amazing judges. So what are the ingredients for entering awards? I think these are the ingredients, not just for our awards, but for any awards. So you need a passion for your business or your charity. You need industry expertise and focus and clear direction. You should really be making a profit unless you're a new business, and obviously charity champion, that's a slightly different metric used for judging that. Or if you're entering the best networking group, a lot of the networking groups are run not for profit. That's perfectly fine. But if you're running a business and you've been trading for a few years, the judges are going to want to see that you are making a profit. And also great testimonials about you and your business. So, online digital proof is the best place to have those. It could be LinkedIn, Facebook, Checker Trader, could be Google. You really need to have a process to collect those reviews and strong processes in your business as well, and that you can demonstrate business acumen. So if you have those ingredients, you can enter business awards. Now, the benefits of entering and winning awards, there are tons. So I'm going to give you a quick overview. So I would say that one of the first things here is that when you enter a business award, it gives you a chance to review what you've been up to, where you've been and where you're going. And this is a really valuable piece of work. It gives you that opportunity to do a 360-degree turn and look at everything, of all the aspects of your business. And I think it's a reflective piece. So from that, you will gain insights into things that you could do better in your business and things that you're doing really well. And that is a valuable piece of work for anybody in business. And you'll end up with information you can use in other areas of your business as well, which is great. Winning awards brings you new business opportunities. I've won, I think, about 18 business awards now, and I can honestly say to you that I've had new business opportunities from it in the past sort of 16, 18 years that I've been winning awards. And it's also great to get your expertise validated and really put your business on the map. When we work for ourselves, we don't get those annual appraisals that you get when you work in a business or organisation. So this is an opportunity for somebody else to look at your business and go, look, do you know what? You're doing a really good job. Well done. And it really is that validation. And that leads to you having a competitor edge. You know, most of us are doing something that other people are also doing. So how do you stand above the rest? And awards are definitely a way of doing that, because it gives you that credibility, not just in your industry, but in your local area. It might give you credibility nationally or globally. And with all of those things comes PR opportunities. And journalists are interested in people who've won awards because they've been validated by an awards panel. So it's taking out a bit of the hard work for them, trying to validate whether you are a good business or not. So it's often the award story that catches their eye, but it's actually the deeper story behind you and what you've built and what you're doing that they may be interested in. And that's so important as well, to get you that really valuable visibility. And it's also a great thing to be able to share with your existing customers. You know, over the years, some of our winners have held, you know, after parties for their award win. And I've been along to some of those events, and it's been lovely to be part of that. And just sharing with your customers, you know, that win and that they've been part of that journey. It's lovely. It's a lovely feeling to be able to share with them. And you've got the networking opportunities, which we really, really, really push you to take advantage of at the final and the events that we run afterwards, which we'll talk more about later. You know, there have been so many amazing collaborations and business has been won as a result of our awards. So much so I'm writing a book about it. So there you go. You're the first to know. And we also know that the SEO opportunities are there as well. We have suffered a lot with fake awards, vanity awards, taking our list and emailing people and telling them that they've won their award, that they haven't entered. So we used to put all the links and everything on the website, and we've stepped back from that now because people are just getting besieged with all this stuff. But there are still SEO opportunities there, and SEO opportunities on your website to backlink to our site, which has got a very strong domain authority on Google as well. So there are no downsides, in my opinion, to entering business awards. So how to enter? So this information is specific to our awards. You'll see some information throughout this presentation that you can use for other awards, but some of this stuff is specific to us. So you can only enter 2 categories, and we have 18 categories, which I'll show you in a second. And you can check the criteria of those categories on our website. Entry is online, so it's an online form that you need to fill in. There are no interviews, there are no presentations. This is how we do it. And the cost to enter is £39 per category. Now, why do we charge? We charge for a number of reasons. The main one is it actually upped the quality of the entries when we started to charge for it. People make more of an effort. It also stopped us getting spam entries and entries from overseas. And we also give you feedback on your entry after the awards. So if you're not selected or you win a silver and not a gold and you want to know why, we can give you some feedback and help you improve your entry. So that's the main reasons. We don't charge charities, though, to enter. They are exempt from the entry fee. My advice is always to carefully read and answer the questions. You will need to submit evidence to support your entry, which I'm going to go through those 2 points in a bit more detail in a minute. And I want to make it clear there is no voting in these awards. You know, I think voting is a ridiculous process to have in business awards, because to me, that makes it a popularity contest, not a genuine business award. And anything that requires you to garner votes to win an award, I would say to you, that is a red flag, massive red flag, because there should be no reason why any awards need you to get votes, because all they're doing is building their email list by getting votes. So I just think it's a really bad practice and it should be stopped. So we don't do that. Okay, this is a proper business award, properly judged, no voting. So I'm not going to sit and go through every single category because that would take ages, but we've got 18 categories covering a wide variety of industries and also some more generic categories like most inspiring, lifetime achievement, customer service as well. So there is something there for everybody because we start with new business. So, if you've been trading from 1st of January 2023, that's the category for you. If you are strong at this point and you've been going for 3 years, you might want to look at an industry category. But I would say to you, if you've only been trading maybe 6 months to a year, focus on the new business category. And if you want advice, then just call me or one of the team and we will talk it through with you so that you enter the right category for your business and or charity, and that you've got enough that you can demonstrate to the judges how good you are. So we can have a chat and talk that through. We mentioned about female leader when we spoke with Mary earlier. That is a category that if you work in a business, you can enter. All of the other categories, you need to either be a director or a business owner or have a financial vested interest in the business, with the exception of charity champion. And there are slight exceptions around the best networking group because you may be running that with 2 or 3 other people. And that one is really about the networking group itself and how it supports people. So again, if you're not sure, then get in touch and we can go through it with you before you do your entry. Now, our submission process, this is our advice to you. And to be honest, for anybody entering any awards, you should start with a brainstorm. Now, I have a document which I'm going to send you after this, which takes you through all of the different areas to help you reflect on your journey, your customer reviews, your customer process, what charity and pro bono work that you do outside of your business, and maybe things that you do that your competitors don't. And this is a really good document. I devised it a few years ago because I realized that people were just a little bit lost about what to put. So I put this together a number of years ago. So I'm going to send it to all of you after this and you can download it. It's also going to be on our website. And I think that will help guide you as well on the right categories for you and your business. Now, when it comes to writing your entry, make sure that you write it on a Word document. There are so many reasons why I'm going to tell you to do that. The main thing is that you've got it to refer back to when you do other awards. That's the first thing. The second thing is you can make changes, you can get someone else to read it through. If you just type it into our website, then you haven't got that to refer back to. Plus, if you make mistakes or you miss things out. So don't do that. Do it on a Word document, and that applies to any awards you're entering, and then copy and paste it into the website. Now, obviously, we've seen an upsurge in people using AI. I would say last year we really saw the number of people that were clearly using AI. So if you are, that's fine. And we're going to talk about a tool that Denise has got later on, Winner AI. But, just make sure that it makes sense because people weren't clearly checking it to make sense. And make sure there are words and phrases in there that make sense. Don't use things that don't apply to your business. And you could use it, I think, as a guide and then come back to it and put your own personality into it. Because the judges don't want to read a load of diatribe that's been sort of off of ChatGPT. So just make sure if you are using AI that you really put your own personality into it as well. Now, throughout the year, I could say to you a big piece of advice would be to keep a folder on your PC with things that happen in your business, like an achievement journal almost, and pop things in there when you get PR, pop your annual finances in there, pop your marketing plan in there, any other key information or things that you've been doing, because you'll forget about it when you come to do awards. So if you've got a folder, market achievements and put things in there. That will help you have some information to come to when you're doing an award entry. And then you should all be regularly asking for reviews as part of your sales process and really thinking about that customer journey. So when you finish working with somebody or they've bought your product, sending them a link to where they can leave you a review. So that might be Google, as I said earlier, Facebook, LinkedIn recommendations. It could be Trust a Trader, Check a Trader, Trustpilot, because it's really important to have that digital footprint. And the judges love it when they see that people have got lots of online reviews because that's your digital proof. Case studies are slightly different. You need to build that out with the client about how you took them from where they were when they started working with you to where they are now. And then you can add their review at the bottom. Testimonials obviously are slightly different because they are always going to be in your favor, talking about how positive you are. Reviews, you might get negative reviews, lots of businesses do. But you really want a process to collect this information. And we did a podcast episode, which I'm going to reference when I send you the information out later, with a lady called Shanaz. In fact, she might even be on the call today. I thought she was registered. Shanaz Latif, tootservices.co.uk. She's got a great business helping people with their process to gain reviews. So, think about that process because it is so important. And it's not just important for award entries, it's important for your business. When you use our system, I'm going to show you a link that you need to grab. If you start your entry in our system and then come back to it, you can do that. Using award writers, that isn't cheating either. Some people say, oh, well, surely if you pay someone to do your entry, that's cheating. No, it's not cheating. We have 3 award writers, I believe, here today. We've got Kate Adam, we have Lucinda White and Stephanie Brown. Make sure you put your details into the chat, ladies, because this is not cheating using them to help you with your entry. We have a few people on our list and we would send you that information. There's no money changing hands for us recommending them, by the way. These are people we trust, we know that do a good job. It's sensible sometimes if you're time starved to get somebody to help you with your award entry. And especially if you're entering a lot of different awards, you might be doing industry ones, national ones, global ones, and local ones. So, having somebody in your corner that's been doing it a long time and really understands what the judges want to know can be really useful. So that is not cheating at all. But if you do get somebody to write your entry on your behalf, there is a box where they can put their details in. Just make sure they don't put their name as the entrant, because we've had that a few times. Once you've submitted your entry, you will get an email from us which confirms the entry. It's done automatically in the system. If you check your spam, because they often go in there, and if you don't get that email, you need to ring us and not leave it till after the awards have closed, because that's too late. We can't do anything then. We want a phone call when you do your submission. Now, obviously, if you're submitting a 5 to 6, which I would not advise you to do on the day we close, you're just adding loads more stress into your day doing that. So try and get it submitted way ahead of time. The day after close, if you haven't had your email, then obviously ring us then, because we can still sort it the day after, but we can't sort it a week later, 2 months later. Believe me, we have people that tell us they've done their entry and we've never received it. So we know it hasn't been done. We know that they've obviously started it and just not finished it. So yeah, do contact us. We do an announcement on social media when we've sent out the emails. Everybody gets emailed, everyone. So whether you've entered and not been successful, or whether you've entered and been successful, you will get an email. We send an email to everybody. And as I mentioned earlier, we don't publish the list anymore openly on our website. You will see the list if you are one of the finalists. But we're now so wary because our data is getting used by fake awards, vanity awards. It's just a nightmare. So a few little winning tips here. You need to read and answer the questions and demonstrate the truth strengths of your business. You will need with our awards to provide evidence. I mean, I get a bit funny about awards that don't ask for evidence. I just don't understand how they can judge somebody based on the information on their website or something silly like that. So evidence is what you are showcasing, and I'm going to give you some examples of what to add in a minute. The evidence can be the difference between winning a gold and silver, and we're going to hear from some of our judges in a minute, so I'm not going to go too much into too much detail on that because I want them to share what they're looking for. As I said earlier, maybe doing it on a Word document gives you the advantage of being able to send it to somebody else who perhaps doesn't know you very well, could be your neighbour's brother or something, and get them to read it and sense check it. And, you know, because the judges don't know you. Our judges go through a process of, first of all, signing an NDA. And then if they get the list of the entrants they've got to judge before they access the judging portal. And if they know anybody in that category, they have to declare it. And we then shift them onto a different category. And I'm really strong on that because I think that you will struggle to be, you know, the bias will be there if you know somebody. You can't be a subjective. So each entry is seen by 3 judges and they're all scored. It's a scoring system for each question. And then one person in the category can have 10 wow points awarded by our judges. And that is generally what pushes the top people to the finalist list and the gold place. So that's why the more you wow them, the more likely you are to get those wow points. You can't add too much information into an award entry. You know, don't repeat yourself, but the problem is that some of the entries come in, and I judge other awards as well. I judge the Stevie Awards. They're a global awards for women, and they suffer with the same problem. People just don't put enough information in. And people are paying $500 to enter the Stevie Awards. And when I started being a judge for them a couple of years ago, I thought, oh my gosh, the entry standard is going to be so high when people are paying $500. No, they suffer the same problems that we do, is that some people have got a great business, but they just don't showcase it. And as I mentioned, it's about entering as early as possible to avoid that last minute rush. You will not do your best entry in an hour before the deadline if you haven't sat there and done it beforehand. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because actually the people you want to hear from are our judges, and we have quite a few of them in the house today. So I'm going to go over to Antoinette. Antoinette is here. Oglethorpe.
Hi, Debbie. Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
Antoinette. So as a judge, give us a sentence of what you're looking for.
I'd say the key thing is evidence.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like when you're going for a job, you know, if you say on your CV, I've got great communication skills, no one's going to believe you if you then can't demonstrate those communication skills. So it's not just about making the claims, it's about supporting those claims with real evidence. And one thing I would say is, you know, Debbie said you can repeat yourself. We're asked to evaluate each question individually. So if you have some evidence that applies to more than one question, i.e. it's part of your, you know, customer service process, but it's also your key innovation or demonstration of creativity, put it in both because we're evaluating each question individually.
Yeah, really good advice. Thank you, Antoinette. So, Artie Palmer, you've been judging for a number of years now.
Hi, everyone. I think is this my 5th year now? I think
Something
every
like that.
year I come
I've
onto
lost
this
track.
call, I'm like, is this my 4th year now? Is this my 5th year? Well, whatever it is, you know, I feel really honored, firstly, to be able to do this. This is probably one of, the most legit awards out there, and why I continue to say yes to judging for all the reasons that Debbie mentioned. You know, I think in the last 5 years, nobody actually still knows which categories I've judged. And I love the fact I can't judge anybody that I know. So no one can take me out for dinner or lunch, which is a good thing. In terms of what I do look for is that congruency, you know, with your journey, your story, your growth as a business. So don't be afraid to share that, you know, in terms of the challenges that you've had and the successes. This is the time to really share those achievements, and making sure, coming back to the congruency and the evidence piece, that's where we really get to see those words, not just, oh, we're great at customer service, showcasing how you are great at customer service, be it, through the testimonials, websites, where you lead us to. Make that really easy for us, please, because, we've got other entries to look at. So the more easy you make it, and give substance to it. So, give us that evidence. That's what we're looking for. And like I said, showcase that story, that mission, that purpose behind why you're doing what you're doing, what's driven you, and what really is your USP. So like Debbie said, take the time to sit with this and really, acknowledge what you've done, because that's going to really come out in what then gets written. And if you are getting somebody else to do your entry, what I would say is get them to check it with you, please, because I've seen things where they've just copied and pasted things from the website, and it's just really got no depth. So yeah, do get it checked if you are getting someone else to write it.
Brilliant, thank you.
Awesome.
Really useful tips. Right, we've got David Bell here. So we don't just have women on our judging panel, we have men as well, because that's really important. So David, are you there?
I am, Debbie, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. As always, Debbie, it's a pleasure to be here this morning and see all these smiley faces here, all passionate about winning awards. I've been very lucky over the many years of running businesses to win awards like yourself, Debbie. And I heard you say earlier, we should be putting ourselves forward. Not everyone gets a pat on the back, and as business owners, we have to pat ourselves on the back. And more importantly, the team around us that make these successes happen. So these awards are super important, and also they're celebrating the best of women as well. And as you know, Debbie, I've judged these. I think this is my 5th year, something like that. And I've judged lots of different awards, and this does stand out from the rest for the reasons that you've mentioned. They're not just, you're the most favourite person, you get to win. These are judged by great judges like ourselves, and we spend the time looking through your award entries. And some of the things are just highlights when you're doing your award. Sometimes less is more. Don't waffle. If you don't need to tell us because it's not no relevance, don't just waffle for waffle's sake. The judges will love you if you get to the point and get that information across clearly and concisely. As has already been said, evidence and proof goes a long way. Showcase, tell us maybe, how you helped and solved the problem with a business or a client, and what that solution was. That really brings things to life. Credibility and authenticity. As Debbie said, AI is great. Absolutely. I come from the technology background. I use AI every single day. And if you are using AI, just proof it, just check it, just add that credibility and add you to it as well, that authenticity part. And do tell us a story or two, because when I'm reading through these entries, things that stand out to me is the journey, the pains that you've gone through, that we've all gone through them, the successes that you achieved, the things that the team have delivered. So tell it as a story. That makes it so much more interesting and vibrant as a judge. So they're just some of the tips that I would kind of bring to the surface. But good luck. I look forward to seeing and reading the entries. I'm not quite sure what category, because I'm going to be judging this year. It's always exciting to get the list through and say these are the ones you're looking at. But yeah, good luck to everybody, and hopefully see some of you on the night in October as well.
Oh, thank you. Now our head judge is Roma, and she's here today, and she's been on the judging panel since we began in 2015. And she has the job sometimes of dealing with the ties, don't you?
That's fun. Hello, I'm Roma. I've met some of you before, I'm sure. Yes, I've been with Debbie since the beginning of the awards, which is a real honour. What am I looking for in particular? Much like the other judges in terms of the story, as David pointed out, for me, it's what I call the red thread. What you started with, where you want to get to, how you've got there, and how you see yourself moving forward. I've always focused on growth. Sorry about the voice. I've always focused on growth, and particularly entrepreneurs who are focused on growing their business faster. But growth doesn't always mean bigger. It might mean that you diversify. There might be any number of reasons. So again, that's why I say that red thread for me is important. Does it make sense where you're going next? Or are you just trying to big up the fact that you see yourself growing? So really that, again, David and Artie, I think, and the others mentioned that important evidence. That's really crucial. And good luck, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Roma. So I think I've heard from all the judges that we've got on the call today. So what I want to do now,
You've got me, Debbie.
Oh, you are there. I was just looking, I couldn't see you. Oh, Maggie, hello. Tell us what you're looking for. Why are you not coming up on the list? That's really weird. Strange.
Hi, everyone. That's okay. So in terms of these awards, like many people have said, I've had the opportunity to judge many awards, even including, corporate innovation awards for SMEs. I did one in the last year, and the Best Businesswomen Award still comes, far beyond all the others. So the fairness is just incredible. What I do look for, just like all the other judges, is your stories. So yeah, it's good to tell your stories because we're all human and it makes sense to all of us. And just support your stories with the right evidence. And thinking of the evidence as well, look at the credibility of the evidence. One thing I want to mention is, for instance, if it's a financial element that you want to support evidence with evidence, numbers on a Word document is very similar to the story you've told. So if you can add some credibility to it, is it from your accountant or is it a snapshot of some kind of tool that you use to gather your financial information, that really helps. The same for your customer services, reviews and things like that. Yes, on a Word document is amazing, but is it also showcased somewhere, maybe on Google or on LinkedIn or on, wherever it is, in the Trustpilot, that really gives more credibility. And also think about how you can get the extra 10 points, right? So after you've done everything, just say, what makes me stand out? Because at the end of the day, that's what you'd like to do. So think about what is the extra magic thing that you can put in to make you stand out above the crowd. And good luck, everyone. And I'm looking forward to this year's as well.
Thank you. So I've got Ramesh here as well. Ramesh, anything else that you can add that hasn't already been said?
Hey everyone, good to see you all. I mean, so much good advice from my fellow judges. And yeah, I'd first like to say, I'm really proud and privileged to be judging for the third time, and I'm always inspired and amazed by the fabulous stories that we come across. And this is a real celebration, a credible celebration of female entrepreneurship and achievement, and it's a great thing to be part of. It is a rigorous, due diligence process. That's how I would describe it. And Debbie is so structured. All of us judges get some quite in-depth training on how to do this, and again, to underline the credibility. And that's what makes these awards so powerful. In terms of advice from me, and as I said, so much good advice from everyone here. Firstly, I would say, to Debbie's point, the brainstorming element. I mean, think about actually not just this being an awards entry, but it's a real opportunity to have a deep think about your business. What are your values? What have you achieved? We're always so busy firefighting, dealing with issues and lots of day-to-day tasks. This is a strategic moment. So really lean into that. I think evidence of success has been talked about. Being transparent, authentic, and honest is really, really important and something that we're looking out for. A number of the judges have talked about a compelling story. And I think, to kind of go into a bit more detail, what makes you different? What are your USPs? What are your values? Can you articulate them well? what makes you stand out from the crowd, and actually have the confidence to lean again into that, because you will find when you look at all the things you've achieved, there are lots of things there. So I'd encourage you to be honest and encouraging to yourself as well. And where you can, put in examples of your achievements with clients or customers, anything that adds flesh to your story, as well as the various bits of evidence that people have talked about, will help you. So again, it's wonderful to see everyone. I really hope that you are encouraged to apply. Good luck, and yeah, hope to see you at the awards evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Right. So we have Sylvia here, who won our Gold Award last year for customer service, because we're going to be talking to some winners from last year. So we're going to start with Sylvia because we've invited her onto the judging panel this year. So Sylvia, welcome to the judging panel.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey from the first time Debbie invited us women. We were attending a business women event, and she said, as women, we tend to shy away sometimes from shouting out about what we do, what we achieve, how good we are. And instead, it won't happen if we don't actually bring it on us. So it was a piece of advice that I never forgotten, and I keep sharing with my friends and the people that I know, that they sometimes don't feel brave enough to do it. As for what can make a difference, I believe in our case, it was trying to for me to come out of the bias that I can have about writing about my own business, because it's your child, it's one of your children. So you somehow can be biased. You can have a specific point of view about something. So first thing, avoiding jargon. So don't assume that people know what you do, particularly if it's a little bit technical, particularly just explain. And the other thing, get as many possible pieces of feedback around it, so that it's not just your point. If you have a team, get them to say what they think that makes the business unique and special. And sometimes it's surprising because you hear things that you weren't considering. So you need to see things from a different point of view. Or if you're working on your own and you don't have team members to ask, suppliers, collaborators, but also the produce themselves that you have collected. If you spend some time actually reading them carefully, you can see what people like. And the things that people like about your business are striking points of difference. So kind of steer them in the, not just as evidence, but as the winning points, basically.
Thank you.
Good luck to everyone.
Oh, thank you, Sylvia. So I'm going to go over to a few of our winners from last year. I'm going to start with Emily Hewitt, who won the Gold Award for Best Solopreneur last year. Emily, what's your experience of the Best Businesswomen Awards been?
I think for me, so I've run my business for 17 years this year, and we're in a bit of a trust recession at the moment, and people want that reassurance before they invest. So especially in the membership that I run, where I support small businesses, I've found that having that award recognition kind of gives people that confidence that I genuinely actually know what I'm talking about. So it adds quite a lot of weight, and it builds that trust even before I have to kind of sell it in, as it were.
Brilliant. And you entered, I can't remember how many times, 2 or 3 times before you got the gold?
It was on my 3rd year, so 3rd time lucky. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd year I'd won silver awards. So I'd entered into 2 categories each year. First 2 years I won silver in both, and then the 3rd year I won silver in one, and finally a gold in the other. So
and you've got all your awards behind you, because you've obviously won lots of other awards as well. Fabulous. Thank you, Emily, for joining us. Let's go over to Lindsay Axton, all the way in Cornwall. Are you there?
I am. Hello, everybody.
Hello. How was it winning Best Business last year?
I know, Best Business. I couldn't believe it, not least because there were 10 people in the final list. I just couldn't believe it. So yes, I'm from Buzz Interactive. We're software developers down in Newquay. And yeah, it was fabulous to come up to this national awards. I got a lot out of it, a boost personally. I've been running Buzz for 20 years this month, actually. So it was a boost for me and a boost for our team. I very much won it for our team. We got good PR out of it, really good PR opportunities. The photographers and everything you do on the night make doing your PR so much easier. So it was fabulous. And I would say it was the best awards event I've ever been to, and I've been to a few now. It was just a real true celebration. Not one bit of it was, okay, let's wait for the next. I think the whole night was amazing.
Oh, thank you, Lindsay. That's lovely, and well done to you. Now let's go over to Fiona Da Silva, who won the Best Businesswoman Working with Children and Families last year, the Gold Award.
So lovely. It's a real pleasure to be on today. Yeah, I won silver in 2024 and then gold for 2025. Oh, so much to say. My family were with me on the evening, and that was just the most incredible highlight. My son was going, "This is mental. This is mad. This is mental." And the fact that I won. But it was just there was so much love in the room. Like I say, the best award ceremony I've ever been to. And personally, because you can really go up and down in business. Sometimes you've got more people that work with you, sometimes you have less people. So to have that validation was just incredible. So I've been in business 19 years this year, and I always wanted, people to understand what I do differently. So I run after school clubs with performing arts, so Revolution Performing Arts, and I revolutionized the way performing arts is taught, and I could never really get that out. And just a massive shout out to all the support as well that helped me kind of get there. So I read Denise's book, Winner AI, not AI, Winner. Fiona Scott does my PR, and just the support, even like just getting on the phone with Debbie it was so, you feel like it's such a massive intimidating thing, but actually the support and people are holding your hand and taking you along on the journey. And I mean, really, everybody else has said everything, to be honest, but reviews, testimonials, evidence, and reflecting on yourself, your journey, and don't hide, don't be shy, step out into the light, because you deserve to have a spotlight on you.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. And Rachel Dunford, who won Best Businesswoman in Business Services, the gold. You're here.
I did, yeah. And like the other ladies here, I entered 2 years in a row, and you can see behind me, I'm so proud that people see these on all of my work calls. It's really important that is like a visual reminder to people who you work with that you've had this recognition, because like the others, I've run my business for nearly 15 years, and genuinely never thought for a really, really long time that entering awards was for me, that I would have anything to compete, I had any right to be there. But I've proven myself wrong. And since winning, the response has just been really amazing. People talk about my work differently. People perceive me differently. My in-laws take my work more seriously than they had done before. It's really interesting how when you had somebody else kind of validate what you do, it gives you a different level of credibility. And the most beautiful story came from the gold win, because the power of your own kind of PR afterwards is wonderful, but somebody else actually wrote a post about me having won gold in my category, because she also was in that category, and she came and she won a silver award. But she wrote this most beautiful post on LinkedIn about my success, which was just so generous. And as a consequence of that, a complete stranger approached me and asked me to do an enormous contract for her business because she'd seen somebody else talking about my win in the awards. And it just demonstrates that having that recognition is so powerful. They would never have found me if it wasn't for the Best Businesswoman Awards. and the kind of credibility it's given to me. And I couldn't agree more. It's such a joyful, uplifting evening. There is so much mutual love and support in the room, and being able to celebrate women, we don't do it enough. So thank you, Debbie, for giving us this opportunity.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for contributing today. So I'm going to go back to my slide deck now and finish off a few more things that I want to share with you. Let's go on to the next one here. So our questions, again, I'm not going to sit here and go through all the questions with you, but just to give you an overview, the questions are not set to trick you, by the way. They're asking about your business, how you differ from your competition, how you deliver great customer service, how have you coped with any challenges you've faced over the last year, and what activities have been instrumental in the growth of your business. So essentially, that's the marketing things that you're doing to get clients. We do ask for your turnover, your gross and net profit for the last financial year. You can upload the evidence from either what the summary that the accountant sends you, or maybe you're using Xero or QuickBooks. You can print off a summary from there and include it. We have people that try and bypass the system by uploading a blank sheet of paper, because you do have to upload something on that question. Unfortunately, those entries won't progress. It's not that you're going to be judged on how much money you're making. It's just that the judges can then go, right, this is a viable business, and that you understand and you have a handle on your numbers. And we also ask what your business does to give back to others, because we would expect to be rewarding people who are doing something outside of their business. So it might be anything from having an apprentice, or to doing talks at a local school, or you might be on a PTA, or you might do fundraising or pro bono work. It could be anything, but it's what you're giving back to your industry, your local community. That's what we want to see, that we've got people that we're recognizing who are doing those things. And also your passion for your industry. You know, why are you passionate about it? Why do you love what you do? We also need a business bio from you, which is not part of the judging process, but we use that in the program. And our program lists everybody and the business bio and your website. So you make sure you get that right, and that you're happy for that, because for us to use that, because that's what's used also on social media posts as well afterwards. You know, we often get people coming up to us at the final and saying, where did you get this? And we're like, well, you put it in the entry. Oh, it was one of my team and I didn't check it. Make sure you check it. So those are generally the questions, but there are exceptions with some of the more specialized categories that have got their own set of questions. But you can see the questions before you even start an entry form on our website, and this is where you can see them against each category. And then I mentioned earlier about the save button. If you do start the entry and something happens and you get disrupted, make sure you save the link. It's a password protected system. If you do not save the link, or you don't put your email address for it to be sent to you, because you can do that as well, your application will be lost. We cannot access it if it hasn't been submitted. So as I said earlier, make sure you work on a Word document, check the entry, upload it by copying and pasting it in. Any problems, just call us. So to summarise everything everybody said, essentially, judges of awards are looking for your story, how you've overcome the challenges, the triumphs, the figures, the achievements, and your credentials. That's what you need to pull together. Now, evidence, everybody in the judging panel that you heard from today spoke about evidence. And if you want to win one of our awards, evidence is key. There are plenty of awards out there that will ask for evidence. And as I said earlier, I'm always a bit suspicious about awards that don't ask for this information, because how can you be judged properly if you don't supply that? So you can upload up to 4 files to our award portal when you do your entry. What I would say is think about how you present that and put it together. We have got a couple of videos that I did last year. I did a couple of sessions on evidence, and I did another one on questions and categories. And I will probably revisit that again and do another session this year. But those videos are still on our YouTube channel, so you can go and watch those. And I talk through testimonials, qualifications, case studies, as I mentioned, your charity work, customer surveys. So now is a good time to send out a survey to your customer because you can use that in your award entry, or staff surveys. You know, these are just a few examples. But if you go and watch that video, and I will add it when I send you this information afterwards, it does go in a lot more detail for you. So essentially, you've got to make this as clear as possible for the judges and really make your entry read like a good story. Avoid using jargon, because the judges come from lots of different backgrounds, but they wouldn't necessarily know some jargon. If you use industry jargon, don't do that. Use the full term. And don't make inflated claims that you can't evidence. Or, you know, as I said earlier, one of the judges spoke about unedited copy and pasting. You know, some people take to just copy and pasting stuff off their website and putting it in their entry. Don't do that. Just read through the question, make sure you've answered it, and avoid weighty downloaded files. So, for example, you don't need to put your 52-page staff handbook in there. You know, that's not what the evidence is about. Just make sure the evidence is relevant to the things that you've mentioned in your entry. And, you know, if you've submitted it and you think, oh no, I've missed something out, you know, before the deadline, you can ring us and we can help you sort it. What generally has to happen is you've got to resubmit it, and we'll credit the first one that you've done, because we can't tamper with the entries. This is how robust our process is. So after the deadline, we've had numerous years where people ring me 2 weeks afterwards and say, oh, I forgot to include this. Has the judging started? Yes, the judging starts literally around 2 days after the close date. So you can't then add things later on. We can't do that once the judging process has started. So calling us beforehand, we can generally sort it out. We want you to do the very best entry possible, and we give you so much information and resources to help you. And despite this, every year entrants don't watch these videos, they don't read the stuff that we put out, you know, they don't put in the right evidence, they don't enter the right categories, you know. So we do give feedback. If you don't get shortlisted, it's usually one of these reasons why. Or you could just be in a category that's got a lot of entrants and, you know, highly competitive, and that other people have edged you to the top. It could be because you missed out information that would have edged you to the top. So we can talk you through that afterwards. So we have what's called our feedback fortnight, which starts after the awards has happened in October. And the reason for us, you know, we've got so much work to do once the finalists are announced to get this final up and running. We haven't got time to do all the feedback. And often people who are at the final, they want feedback of why they didn't get the gold award, for example. So we do the feedback at the same time for everybody, feedback fortnight. You just need to email us. After that fortnight's finished, generally the awards entries are destroyed off the system, normally around November, December time. So if we haven't heard from you, you know, don't contact us now wanting feedback on your entry for last year, because all we can do at this point, we can't see the entry anymore because it's gone, but we can look at the points that you got. We can look at that. So we will have the judges' scores still. But ideally, you want to contact us so we can read through the entry with you and see where the gaps were. So, you know, because we want people to do well. Now, we've got Denise here. She has a book called Winner, which I contributed some of the information in that book along with other people who'd won awards, who had judged awards and organised other awards. It's a really good resource. And she's also developed an AI tool. So I'm just going to stop sharing. Hopefully she's still here.
I am.
Are you still here?
Hello, how are we, everybody?
Yes,
lovely to hear
good.
all the stories, and particularly when you hear what it means for the winners.
Yeah.
And I will echo from, as a prior winner myself and judge, if you haven't won the first time, keep going. It really is the case that second time or third time can be the charm. It is literally keeping going, finding more evidence and building it up as you go. But we do appreciate how time poor many people are. You've usually got really good information. It just might be distributed across different places. So Winner, the book, actually was launched in 2020, which just doesn't seem possible. And I am in the process of rewriting edition 2. So that'll hopefully be coming into the summer. And on top of that, the reason that I'm rewriting the book, all the actual content is still very valid. The thing is, we've got to recognise the world has taken a turn, and AI is now a very valuable tool. And it is a tool. It isn't a substitute for knowing your brain. We are not yet enough in the matrix where you can put a lead in the back of your head and it can extract everything for you. You do need some sort of source of information to tell it what it needs to know. But the reason for developing my Winner AI tool was I was starting to see entries that were generated by ChatGPT at the very initial stages. And a lot of them didn't have a story, didn't have a personality, weren't linked to what people's DNA was. So I built the tool as a custom GPT. It's got my book, it's got business psychology, it's got a lot of analysis of keywords that are, and phrases that are in winning entries and prior award winners where content has been freely published. And that actually enables you to go through the process and create a better entry. And we've got a very specific onboarding process where we ask you for levels of detail before you start. And we're actually building custom variants for certain awards as well. So winnerai.co.uk is where you find it. We will be building a special version for the Best Business Women Awards, so it's very tailored to knowing what it is that you need to achieve for the awards. And it, you know, it's another way of helping yourself when time is very tight, and often we all suffer from that. I just wish I'd included that. I forgot about that. And it's those prompts that actually make sure you capture your best data as you do your submission. I'm just going through the process of actually making it externally programmed so it is external to ChatGPT and can move large language model. So again, that's a development in this year, but we all go down these rabbit holes of exciting things in our business. So hopefully it's a tool that, much like the book, all I want is for other people to have a good chance to win.
Yeah, thank you, Denise. Did you put the link to the book and the Winner AI in the comments?
I've got Winner AI in the comments. I will do the book too. Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Right, let's finish off the last piece of this. So just want to talk through, so I've covered off all the entry stuff and hopefully you're inspired to get entering. And if you are selected as a finalist, then you need to maximise your finalist status. And again, this was a huge gap that I saw that people just didn't do and found it really frustrating. So you really need to get it out there. Social media, email your clients, add the logo to your website. We send you a logo, as do most other awards, and add it to your email footers. You want to write a blog about it, do a press release. We send a press release template. We have Amanda Fitzgerald who helps people do their own PR, and Scott Media, you heard earlier, Fiona now uses that company to help her with her PR. So we've got 2 sponsors involved who do specialise in PR, but there's lots of PR companies out there. So, you know, this is the time to get involved. If you get a finalist in an awards, you need to start getting involved with journalists and sharing your story. The other thing that people don't do is congratulate the other finalists. And I really encourage all of my finalists to link up with everybody else. You know, I was shortlisted for the Great British Businesswoman Awards last year, and I connected up with every single person on LinkedIn from those awards. And when I arrived there, people were sort of coming up to me, talking to me, and sort of saying, you know, nobody else did that. You know, and that was really interesting to me that, you know, my team thought it was quite funny because people just kept coming up going, oh my God, you're Debbie Gilbert, you connected up with me on LinkedIn. But actually, it's just about being proactive and pulling those people into your community, and follow the other finalists and the sponsors and the judges and just really connect up with everybody. You know, this is a time for you to build your network as well. And then media coverage. We have had so much over the years. It's incredible. You know, everything from silver winners to gold winners and our special recognition awards, they've had opportunities to be on the TV, to be in magazines, newspapers, radio interviews, podcast interviews, speaking gigs. And this is just a few screenshots here from some of our previous winners. And one of them is even got a regular slot on Rip Off Britain now. awards massively add to your credibility. And if you do get press, you must let us know and we will share it as well on our feeds. So on the night of the awards, you want to be taking as many photos as you can, create a real buzz around your business, post on social media while you're there, and maximize the images you get afterwards, because we obviously have professional photography and videography there. Maybe do a live on your phone. We do run a live feed for part of the awards if we can. It's worked the last couple of years, but we never guarantee that's going to work. And everybody at our awards, every single finalist walks away with a silver award, a gold award, or a special recognition award. So nobody leaves our awards empty-handed, and that's quite unique at the moment in awards. And that's because you have been selected through our judging process. And, you know, I'm not going to give you some generic certificate that doesn't even have your name on it. You get a certificate that you can download and personalize, but that's sent to you separately. Because what we were finding when we were giving certificates to people, you know, they were breaking the frames on the way home, or they didn't use them, or they took the certificates out and put them in a different frame. So we stopped doing certificates a number of years ago, and this works really well for us. So everybody gets that valuable recognition on the night. We don't stop you from winning your award if you don't come to the final. Again, this is quite unique, I think, in the awards industry. We don't suffer with a lot of people that don't come. And I think that's what a lot of awards are scared about. But I take on board that people might have challenges in their lives. They might have things that happen, or they might just not feel comfortable being in a room with 300 people. I get that. So we don't stop anybody winning one of our awards because they don't come to the final. So I want to make that really, really clear. But you do have to pay to have the award sent to you afterwards, because obviously there is a cost for the postage and the trophy. So we're happy to send it. It's not hundreds of pounds, by the way. It just covers the cost of the trophy and the postage. So we will send that to you afterwards. But you don't have the digital asset. You don't have the experience of being there, and you don't have the photos. So that's the downside. But I wanted to make it really clear. So here's our picture of all of our silver winners last year. So I love that photo. It's just a lovely, lovely picture. And the final is on the 16th of October at the Daventry Court Hotel. We moved it out of London, and actually with what is going on in the world at the moment, I'm actually really pleased that I made that decision. I don't think that they're going to be bombing Daventry any day now. So I'm glad that we have made that decision. We moved it out of London last year, mainly down to the costs, to be honest. It's so expensive running events in London. And Daventry is on the M1. It's just past Milton Keynes, going up towards Leicestershire. So it's in Northamptonshire. So it is kind of not quite halfway up the country, but it isn't as far for people in the north to get to. And the cost of the hotel is a lot cheaper than central London. So that was one of the main reasons, because when people stay in a hotel in London, you're going to pay 300 quid a night, whereas this is just over £100 a night to stay here. And they did a really good event last year. Now, every year we have a fundraiser for the charity that wins the Charity Champion Gold the year before. So hopefully Patricia's still here. I'm going to stop sharing in a minute. So our charity for 2026 will be the Ashton Jazz Academy, run by Patricia Muirhead, and an incredible woman. And we are going to be fundraising for that charity this year. So I'm going to stop sharing. Hopefully Patricia is here. Are you here still, Patricia? Maybe she's had, oh, Patricia Muirhead. No, she's showing that she's still here.
Hi, Debbie. Hi, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. So you are our gold winner in 2025. We're delighted to bring you back in 2026. So what happens is, if you win the gold in the Charity Champion, there's a few things I want to mention, is that we don't charge the charities to attend. We give you a free ticket. We only give you one free ticket, but it's still a free ticket. And the winner, we fundraise for you at our final in October. So we will do a raffle and some other fundraising activities. So Patricia, tell us about your charity and give people a flavour of what you do and why they should potentially get involved with what you're up to.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning, or is it afternoon? No, we're still in the morning stages. Good morning. My name's Trisha. And yes, I've been running the Ash and Jazz Academy for 10 years now. It was lovely to have received our Go Champion award in our 10th year, because it was really significant to have achieved something well, I felt really deserving of the charity as a whole, because I see everything not just as myself, but I see it as a charity. And it was lovely to also gain an award alongside our lovely patron, Rachel Dunford. So the charity itself, we're based in South London. We work in a number of different boroughs, and we support young women who have been referred to us for emotional or mental health support. So we conduct different services. We go into schools and deliver workshops around mental health resiliency. We take girls on residential trips over the weekend to kind of build up their self-confidence and self-esteem. We also provide one-to-one mentoring. So many of our young women are referred to us for mentoring support, and that would mean that our volunteers meet with them weekly and provide them with some one-to-one mentoring support, guidance, direction, and also just somebody just to be able to download to. And we also do a drop-in session. So every week we invite young women to come in. They come and they can come and come into what we call drop-in weekly sessions. We provide them cooking activities and just opportunities for them to be able to develop life skills. So yeah, that's the Ash and Jazz Academy, working with young women and inspiring them to be leaders and to gain self-confidence and self-esteem. Yeah, that's Ash and Jazz.
Oh, we'll pop your details into the chat so that everybody can go and have a look at your website. And we look forward to seeing you in October when Patricia will do a presentation at the event about the charity. And this is a picture of her winning her gold last year. And tell us more about the charity on the night. And then there will be a raffle. There may be other things like an auction. We're not sure yet. But we do a silent auction. So, essentially, this is our way as an awards of giving back. And this is our sponsor, Justine Perry from Cariad Marketing, who sponsors this particular category. And it's her support that enables us to give those tickets to the charities free of charge. So let's just finish. Somebody's not on mute, so make sure you pop yourselves on mute. The last bit of the presentation. So there's a few little pictures. We have entertainment every year, and we just try and make it a real celebration. Now, after the awards are over, it's not over. You'll be pleased to know. So if you win one of our awards, then you are part of our winners club forever. And we put on 2 events a year in London. We do those in central London. To really gather together people that might have won 5 years ago, 10 years ago, recently. Every year, different gathering of people. It's always great. It's an opportunity for our sponsors and judges to come together as well and meet with you. And it's a drinks event. It's very relaxed. We love it. We love doing it. We've got one in June and we'll do one in November. And because I've launched a second awards, the Best SME Awards, and they are going to be having their final at the end of April, so they're mixed awards, we're going to bring that community together because we think there's a power in the 2 different communities. We're going to bring those together. So I love the Winners Club events. They are a really good way of you making more connections and, getting more business, essentially, which is what this is really about. So I'm just going to go through the important dates with you. We will be closing the awards on the 10th of June at 6 o'clock. We never do extensions. Again, I really cannot stand that practice with awards because I think it's disrespectful to those people who have got their entry on time. And there's nothing worse than at 3 o'clock, the day of the deadline, you get an email to say they've extended it for another week. Generally, it's probably because they haven't got enough entries or they're just playing with people. I just don't think it's good practice in awards. So that's when we shut. I'm really sorry, but if you don't get your entry in, there are no excuses to that extension at all. And we just say, sorry, you'll have to try again next year. We do our finalist announcement by the 7th of July. I don't give a date because like we've just experienced with the Best SME Awards, things happen to the judges. They end up maybe with a bereavement or an illness or something happens. So I never want to have a specific date but it will be by the 7th of July. And then our final is on the 16th of October. And I mean, if you already know that you can't come, then don't enter. Do it next year when you can get that whole experience. But, you know, as I said, we don't penalise you if you don't attend. But I just would say you're going to get the best from it if you come along. And make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels. And we also would say we've got TikTok as well now, and YouTube channel. It's got tons of videos on there. There's loads of support there for you. I also have a podcast called The Business Awards Show, which has been going for 5 years. It's one of the top 30 marketing podcasts in the UK. And I interview winners, not just of our awards, but other awards, winners of awards, judges, sponsors, other award organisers, because there are plenty of other really good, credible awards out there as well. And if they meet my criteria, I'll interview them for my show. And there's probably coming up to 200 episodes on there now. So you can listen to episodes from businesses that are maybe in a similar industry to you and listen to their stories. And I think it's really inspiring listening to other people talk about their business and why they entered awards and what they gained from it. So there's a few little snaps from last year. And entries are open from today, but do take your time. You have 99 days from today. So you've got lots and lots of time. That's 14 weeks to gather the information, the reviews that you need. Don't rush it. You know, we will start getting entries in tomorrow, and they're normally not the best entries because people have rushed it or just seen it somewhere and flicked an entry in. You know, the team is there to help you. This is my team. We're all there to help support you through the process. And, you know, don't think any question is a stupid question, because it's not. You can call, you can email. We are there. So that's everything that I've covered. I'm just going to stop, put you back onto. If there are any questions, obviously pop your hands up and I'm happy to answer any. I think a few have already been answered in the chat already, so there is no voting. If you listen to the beginning of this call, you will hear my views on voting, which is not good. So thank you everybody for joining me today, and thank you to all the sponsors, the judges that really do make this event what it is. And I get excited about this event every year. People say, oh my God, you never get fed up with it. No, because the minute I get fed up with it, I will stop doing it. I think you'll still be wheeling me in when I'm 90 in my wheelchair, and I'll still be doing it then. It's the most inspiring night of my year. I cannot tell you how amazing it is. And the special recognition awards we brought in a couple of years ago. So those ones go to people that, you know, maybe they didn't quite get the gold in their category, because, you know, there's a lot of people in every category, but they're doing something really extra special. And we recognised 5 women last year as well, which was incredible, being able to give them some extra recognition for what they've been up to. So, yeah, excited. So I'll see you all in your glad rags, hopefully in October. And in the meantime, any questions, come back to me and let me know. So thank you. I will let you all go on with your day. You'll get the recording and the notes and everything I mentioned afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie.